Hey, what's going on, guys? Vinny Hahn here from CreationAstronomy.com here with Joe.
Hey guys!
Welcome to the Creation Astronomy Now podcast, episode number 7.
And today we are going to be talking about an upcoming event that is going to be a thrill for not only just everyone in the astronomical field.
That's right. As the Comet ISON approaches its flyby on November 28th through December, that is creating quite a discussion among not only the astronomy community, but also the whole science community. And you look Discover magazine, or you see Answers in Genesis on the Answers magazine. They've got one, and even the Answers update. Everybody's talking about it, and there's a reason for that. Comet ISON is very exciting because it isn't one of those events that is limited to these advanced astronomers who have telescopes and who have all kinds of tools. You should, if all goes well, unfortunately we can't be completely certain, but it's very, very, very likely that it will be visible with the naked eye, and anticipation is building up as it gets close. Of course, it's very hard to predict because the brightness factor can vary by a factor of 1,000,000, they say. It's kind of crazy. And also, the Creation Astronomy Now has been talking about it quite a bit. And we've got I had 2 on there. I have 1 on that I did first, and I've got 1 about the chance that ISON has on survival. And then I made another about viewing ISON, and we've also got the podcast, and we have a little competition going on that we're going to be talking about later in the podcast. But first, let's talk about Comet ISON itself. You can thank Artyom, Novichoniok,
And Vitali Nevski.
Nevski. Two Russian astronomers that actually discovered Comet ISON in December 2012. And they discovered it in their little observatory. I'm pretty sure they're amateur astronomers, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure they're amateurs. But anyway, let's talk about ISON's chance of survival. As Comet ISON is getting closer to the sun, then astronomers at observatories are working on trying to figure out whether Comet ISON is going to survive. Which originally a lot of news people talked about, how Comet ISON is going to be so bright, it's going to be so amazing, you're going to be able to see, it's going to be almost as bright as, bright enough to see in the day, like as big as the moon. Which unfortunately is not going to be near that big. It would be nice, but that's the way it goes. So Matthew Knight and Kevin Walsh from a observatory have been working. They've gotten 2 approaches. One is to measure Comet ISON, which is rather hard because you've got to worry about the size of it and the rotation speed, because 2 factors are going to come into play. One is the size of it, whether it's going to melt all the way, and the other is whether it's going to get through the sun. So they've checked the size in one way, and it should survive according to that. But then you've got the factor of radioactive waves from the sun, nuclear waves and whatnot. So they've used simulations to figure that out, and it should survive, but with all the uncertainties, it's gotten about a 50-50 chance. So let's talk about viewing Comet ISON. Now this is going to be our very first comet, chance of viewing a comet. So
you're supposed to kind of look for it at 1:40 p.m. And it should be visible in broad daylight, and look out for the sun.
Yeah, you don't want it. That'd be kind of bad if you did. Stupid Sky High team, they told us to look at this comet, but the sun was out and I got blinded. Yeah, don't look through it. You gotta be careful about the sun. So fortunately, when it comes, before it passes the sun, it'll come by, and it should be visible in the day. After it passes the sun, it'll disappear, a little like the end of November, and then it will come back after passing the sun on December 5th. So you need to look for it after the sun sets Oh,
and around the constellation Spica.
it's constantly. My bad. Star Spica.
Oh, we got.
So if you want to know how to
spelling
find
error
that,
there.
either you can use the famous saying, Arc to Arcturus and Speed to Spica. I've also got a thing showing how to find it in the Sky Guide for 2013. In the future, it's one for 2014. So, anyway, so yeah. So, if, by the way, after it passes the sun, if it survived, we can know then, because if it is, it'll have a distinct tail. And then by December 10th, the tail could stretch about, 1/4 the size, 1/4 across the sky. Then it'll begin to fade, and it'll go away, and oh, it'll be so sad. But anyway, one thing you should know is photographing ISON. Actually photographing comets is a relatively easy thing to do, which we are going to be attempting it because Discover magazine is actually having a competition with Comet ISON. In fact, Joe has the details on that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. There's going to be three different winners that are going to judge them, and it's for amateurs and professionals. Just through a telescope, just any kind of camera you got, just go out there, take a picture of it, send it to them. That you might have a chance. So it's probably not going to be the easiest competition to win, on account that there's probably going to be a few better astronomers out there trying to photograph
just
it.
Just remember this one thing. You can use like a DSLR camera or even a more advanced camera. We've got a kind of a, not a point and shoot, but more advanced. You need a more advanced. A point and shoot won't make the cut. A CCD telescope camera will work, or if you Skycam, they sell like those cameras that you set on the ground and it'll take a picture of the sky. I don't know. I don't like those, but hey, if you've got one, go ahead, go for it. So anyway, yeah, just be sure that you experiment. I mean, just experiment with the camera settings. Be sure to put it on manual, because all those other lame settings are not gonna be able to capture the sky unless you happen to have an astrophotography camera, in which case you won't have to worry about it too much. Just be sure that you put it on manual. Adjust the time, the exposure time. Put it like, I don't know, 15 seconds is good, 10 minutes is okay. I mean, that's more like the thing you do for a meteor shower. But also, Discover Magazine is not the only one who is having a competition. We are having a competition as well, so you can send us your pictures. Either.
But just before you get excited, we're not handing out any cash prizes.
No
or
cash
anything
prizes.
like that.
But we will mention you. We will have the picture in our video we're going to make about the top astronomical news events of 2013. We're kind of going to close the year with that, and we will have your picture on the Creation Astronomy Now's post for after Comet ISON passes by. We're going to do one more post. So you can visit creationastronomynow.com/ISON, that's ISON, or you can tweet your pictures to at C Astronomy News, and we'll check them out. We'll see what kind of pictures we get, and yeah, if they're not all terrible, we'll put them on there. So also, this is usually the time we talk about what's happening here at Creation Astronomy Now. So yeah, not much is happening, but the podcast is now on YouTube. We have a nice little video going on here. I actually went on PowerPoint and I put together a presentation to use, and I figured, yeah, give it a try. Maybe this will give you guys something else to go by and not just our voices. So the video podcast will be on YouTube, and the audio podcast will be on SoundCloud and iTunes. I'm not gonna bother trying to get the video podcast on iTunes. I don't know. It'd just be too much of a pain. So anyway, thanks so much for listening or watching, whatever you're doing.
Like, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff that is so important for us.
Yeah. Be sure to show your support for Creation Astronomy Now. Go to creationastronomynow.com and you can subscribe, donate, whatever you want to do to help support our movement. So, thanks for watching.